Here in my world, holidays and parties and birthdays, they all tend to sneak up on me. And somehow I'm always trying to get some little fun detail and some homemade touches on things. And I don't always have a lot of time. This is why I love the ScanNCut. Well, it's one of the many reasons I love the ScanNCut. And today I'm going to show you a couple of really quick and easy ways, from making our own little decorations to my tips for place card holders, even decorating cookies. So super quick and easy things that you can do with your ScanNCut and really just with the machine itself. And isn't that great? I'm also going to show you how I design some of my own party decorations, some of my bigger decorations. And we're going to talk about how I made this banner. And I had so much fun, you guys. I can't even stop. I love these banners so much. And the ScanNCut made it so quick and easy with a template. Anyhow, it's lots and lots of fun, and I think you're really going to like it too. So let's get crafting. There are two different ways I like to create name tags with the ScanNCut. First way that I'm going to show you here, I like to take a piece of paper on here, and I'm going to go ahead and put in a name. I'm going to do all lowercase. You could do lower and upper. It doesn't matter. And I don't bother with this screen at all. I just say set. And then when you come in here, the great thing is your word is all one file there. Now what I like to do is go in here and click this button right here, which will scan my mat and show me exactly where I have this paper placed. And this is absolutely fantastic because it's going to let me move my name all around, or whatever shapes I have, and see where it's going to be placed on here. And once I'm happy with this, I can just say okay and cut. Once cut out, I can mount onto another piece of paper like I have here. I can bring in little embellishments and add, say, some buttons and things in here. I could stitch around the edge, use pen work, use glitter, whatever I like. But I love this because it just lets me take some simple cardstock, so they're very inexpensive. And yes, I would need a little bit of time to put each person's name, but because of the way the ScanNCut works, I am able to exactly place on my place card, either this way, which in this case, I just placed it where I wanted on a scrap of blue cardstock, or you could actually do it if you just wanted a single layer. Me, I like the double layer because I like having the white show through, but there have been times where I wanted the letters to be open, you know, so that there wasn't that second layer. My other favorite way of doing place cards with the ScanNCut, here are two examples. I love to cut a basic shape. First of all, just take a little piece of paper. This one is about 5.5 by 4. Fold it in half, and then just take any shape you like, any color you like, any pattern you like, cut on the ScanNCut and place it so that part of the design hangs over the edge. What I love about this is when I am putting these up on the table, that heart going over the top, it just adds that little something special. And then for me, we have some stamping here for both the little pattern, because I didn't use pattern paper, add a little pattern, and then name, always fun. And then just one special fancy little button or doodad, and we're ready to go. That's just my favorite two ways of making place cards. Now for Thanksgiving, I love to add little cut leaves from the ScanNCut. Christmas time, of course, little presents, little candy canes. There are so many options from birthdays to major holidays. So really a lot of ways to have fun with the ScanNCut and place cards. I could work on these all day, but I have some other ideas I want to be sure and share with you today. Custom making your own decorations for a party can be a lot of fun. And my specific request in this case, where the kids were asking, could I make some leaves, kind of like you see in Alice in Wonderland, kind of these funky type leaves. And I thought, I don't know if I can, but let me give it a go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I made these, but you could really, whatever the design, whatever the pattern you come up with, you could either say do something on your computer, you could use the Canvas software, or you could just do it. I tend to have better luck when I just get out there with a pen and some paper and draw. So here is my original, and you can see it's on an 8.5 by 11 paper. One of the things I will do, especially when it's simple lines like this, I'll make it a little smaller, and then I can enlarge it all the way up. As you can see, this is much larger than the original. So I can make it smaller and then grow it when I actually have it in the machine and cutting. A couple of key things. Number one, obviously there may be some imperfections. You guys, you really don't want to worry too much about that, because if there is an imperfection, and let's see, it's this end of the design is what we're looking at here. You really just see like a little tiny dot. When you actually get these cut out, you don't need to worry about how perfect it is. Number one, because these are going to be like taped up on the wall for the party. So it's not like, you know, people are going to be scrutinizing every detail. And number two, especially if it's something whimsical, fun, it's okay to have homemade imperfections. So the one thing I did do when I made this, I actually made 2 copies. This was my original. And at first I was thinking, well, what I'm going to do is color this whole thing in so that it shows the machine exactly the shape I want to cut, so the machine doesn't think I want to cut all these extra little lines and such in. Then I decided, no, wait a minute, it's going to be much faster if I just set this paper under. It's thin enough paper that I can see through. Set it under and just trace the lines I actually want cut and where I actually want them cut. From there, super quick and easy, guys, I just scan it into my ScanNCut, which I have right here for you. Okay, so I scanned it in there. And then once scanned, I like to save it to the machine. You could save it to a USB drive as well. And then here it is. You can see the pattern in there. And what I like to do is go in here, select everything, and then unify the pattern. That's the first thing I do, because watch. Now when we go in here, I can do a couple things. I can tilt that a little better, and then I can grow it. Look how much I can grow. I can make it smaller too, but I can grow this to be whatever maximum size I can get onto this one sheet of paper. Or again, like I said, I could make it smaller. I like it. I like these on the bigger side. They're so much fun. And like really a 12-inch wide embellishment like this is so, so stunning. Okay, so once I've done all that, it's as simple as saying okay and cutting the pattern. This one is so incredibly easy that I really don't even have to show you. It really is that easy. All you're going to want to do, and this is one of my favorite secret tricks, you're just going to take some white candy coating. You can get it at the craft store, you can get it all kinds of places. And you're just going to put it down a nice thin layer on top of a cookie of your choosing. These happen to be sugar cookies, peanut butter cookies work, chocolate chip, whatever you like. But you're going to place it down there. I just like the white because I think it's really pretty. And then all you're going to do with your ScanNCut, you will create a shape or several. I used cardstock and just coated it in packing tape and then wiped it down with a wipe. So it's really nice and clean, but also so that my sprinkles and my frosting aren't actually going to get onto the cardstock or stick it, or like make this stencil not really work very well. So then all you have to do while it's still wet, and this has been sitting here for about 15 minutes now and it's still slightly wet, all you're going to do is lay this down on top, sprinkle your sprinkles down, and then lift it up. And I like to do this kind of lift off and up so that any excess fly off, and all you're left with is your cute little design. Obviously, this is going to be something that's going to work better for you with simpler shapes. You get too intricate and it'll be hard to tell what it is anyway. My favorite, I think, for Valentine's Day, a heart in red would be beautiful. I think a little Christmas tree would be great for Christmas time, or maybe a pumpkin or a little ghost for Halloween. Or just for fun, as we are doing here with our party. Just fun little shapes. And this is a great one because you can do it. You can get kids involved and have them do it. And what's really great is that because I'm using this candy coating, once it's dry, those sprinkles are not going anywhere. So if somebody's running around or the cookies are getting jostled, you're not going to have sprinkles flying everywhere. You're not going to have wet frosting everywhere. It's going to get nice and hard and really create a really durable cookie for you to share with anyone. And you know what, guys? It's really delicious as well. I love experimenting with sizes. I love experimenting with layering things up. As you can see here, I've got a bunch of ScanNCut. These actually, My niece made little arrows. There actually are little arrows and such in the ScanNCut, but she liked taking the cut files. We really enjoy playing with what's available, what can we play around with and test out for our parties. So I'm going to just show you real quick my tips and tricks here for using the ScanNCut. When you've got a party theme and you want some decor, you can put this stuff up on the wall. You can put things as small as cake toppers, as big as, 12-inch wide items. So what I like to do when I'm planning a party, I'll go in and look at all of the themes. There are so many just right here. We don't even have to get into importing our own or using Canvas to create our own or anything like that. There are so many different flowers. And this one, ARAO15, that's my favorite flower right there. And what I like to do is just make some, say, small ones, and then I'll say, say 6 or 7. Now, it'll automatically put things in here, but what I like to do, I really like to then go in and look, I need to move it. There we go. I can resize it, and I can also increase the number. What I love about this is, let's say I want to make a ton of flowers. This is an easy way for me to play around with what sizes I like, and then play around with placement and where I want things to be on the paper before I go and cut it out. Now, one thing I have discovered is my kids are great at, if I sit here and make all of the various flowers fit in the way that I like them, they are great at doing the actual cutting, which is really cool because what it does is it allows me to come in and be making a whole bunch of things, and it allows them to take part, and they love being in charge of hitting that start stop button and taking care of the cutting end of business here with the ScanNCut. They have a lot of fun with it. They do not enjoy attempting to do what I'm doing right here in making a whole garden of flowers. This part, they're like, no, Mom, you go right ahead and you take care of that. We will sit back and just let you go for it. So that's definitely not a part that they want to take care of, but it's okay because I'll get all of this done, and they can cut maybe 2, 3, 4 sheets of paper, which is fantastic because then I have a whole slew of things to do. And whoops, hit the wrong button there. This one here at the very top does not want to be my friend right now. There we go. Sometimes if I angle it a little different, that helps. All right, so I load my mat up. And once I'm happy with the location of everybody, in this case I am, of course, that's going to be fun, I just cut. When you're looking through the designs on the ScanNCut or perhaps your own digital files and trying to figure out what exactly you should be cutting, I like basic. I like flowers, hearts, stars, basic type things. I kind of look at the theme, and anything from fairies to princesses to spring, Easter. I mean, there's a million different reasons why a flower is going to be a good choice. For me, it all depends on the colors. And as I play with colors, certain things, certain themes will pop out in my mind. I like to use double-sided paper, especially pattern paper, because as you can see, what I can do here is really just play with layering, and I can play with, say, they're all different sizes here, so I could play with layering a big one with one pattern against a medium with another, against a smaller with another. Brads, rhinestones, buttons, there's all kinds of things that you can place in the middle of these, and all you need is a little dry adhesive if you want to layer it up. Another option to go, get some curling ribbon. You can punch a hole in these and hang them. You could get some curling ribbon and just sandwich it between two of the same or similar size and create little dangling decorations. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of fun. But the biggest, most important thing here is just pick out some basic shapes, pick colors that go with whatever your party theme is, and from there, for example, with a star, it could be anything from a superhero to a general boys' party to Christmas. I mean, there's just so much possibility, you guys. The big thing is, let your ScanNCut do a lot of that time-consuming cutting work. Make yourself a nice, big pile of embellishments to play with. And then see what works for your party, depending on if you're trying to fill a wall, if you're trying to fill like a door opening. I love dangling various bits of cut paper in a dangling door with like a lot of streamers. Whatever you've got, whatever it is, space-wise that you're trying to fill, big or small, fancy or simple, there's a lot you can do with this machine. Now, of course, I'm saving another idea for you, and here we go with the final big project idea. That's what I'm going to share next, all about my banner. One of the things I am most known for, and most honestly get the most comment about with my ScanNCut, are the things I do based off this very basic shapes. These 12 pages of shapes are packed full of wonderful built-in designs, and you may be thinking they're rectangles, they're squares, they're boring. Exactly. The ScanNCut can deliver you the perfect square, the perfect whatever shape it might be that you want, scalloped circle. And you can either take these and do fancy things with them by combining with other patterns, or you can go and say, you know what? This right here is the perfect banner, and blow it way up as I did. And now we could be cutting this. Oops, I gotta watch my height there. I was looking at the width. So we could take something like this and look at it and go, okay, well, I'm going to now set this in a certain position, and I'm gonna load and cut all of my fabrics or what have you. I did a time test, and for this, for what I like to do with this, if you want everything to be sharp, precise, exact, this is the way to go. You say, okay, cut, and then one at a time, cut as many banner pieces as you want. You could alter your size if you liked. All those details are up to you. Me, I decided to go a little different route. I decided to make a template, and that's what you see right here, this piece of cardstock. So then all I do is take a piece of fabric, and you know, my fabric is wrinkled up. It does definitely work better if you iron your fabric first. But that's for the purposes of our video here today. This will be just fine. We put this down. We put down, this is the way I like to do it. I like to do it along the edge if I can, because then I don't even have to worry about if I need to cut along the top. And then I like to put this out, and then I will come up with a line, like say if I want it slightly bigger, I can just line this up with one of these handy dandy rulers here made for fabric and sewing and all that good stuff. And then all I do is just take a rotary cutter and just cut. Now I am on a self-healing mat made for this kind of thing, just FYI. What I found is that going like that and just doing slice, and I'm doing this a little slower than I would naturally do this here at home. I'm also taking a little care to do it a little nicer than I have been doing it. And then the other side, and again, same thing. We're just slicing. I like to give myself just a tiny bit of space away from the pattern just so I don't accidentally nick the pattern. But it really doesn't have to be perfect, and I'll explain and show you why now. So just slice, 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 slice. I could even do multiple pieces of fabric at a time if I want to do this way. But here's the thing, this ScanNCut is vital because it's providing me with my template. Without this piece, my banner would never have come together. And I was amazing. I had house guests at the time as I was starting this project, and they were just amazed at how fast I was putting this banner together. So let me explain now the process. It doesn't take much, and I'm going to do it sideways here so you can see it a little bit better there on your screen. So, piece of fabric, any fabric, set it down. You can see this particular one is a little wider. Sometimes I was altering exact angles just because I think it's kind of fun. So put the piece of fabric down, and then you can pick. Do you want another piece of fabric? Do you want a piece of felt? Me, what I like to do here is I take that carefully cut piece, I set it down, and I stitch. And it doesn't have to be, the stitching doesn't have to be anything in particular. It doesn't have to be straight, zigzag, whatever. I like it best to iron this first, but I don't put a whole lot of time, just a real quick iron, just so that everything is going to stay where I'm asking it to stay, and then give it that stitch in whatever color thread you might like. Now, we could do one of two things. We could bring that ruler out and trim it again nice and neat. just take a regular pair of scissors and shear along the side. Or for some of it, it's a little fun to get in here with pinking shears. I used to use these so much, and I just do not use them much anymore. Okay, so it can be a lot of fun to come in here with those pinking shears and just trim it up. Now, I am not trimming off any of my excess thread. I'm not worrying about that. I am not worrying about a darn thing. All of this rough edge here, I'm actually going to encourage some more rough edges because I want a very shabby chic look, kind of an aged banner here. Now, once I'm happy with one of my panels, it's real easy because look, I just have a nice wide rickrack that I'm using as my base, and I just was adding one panel at a time, and I'll walk you through it. So this one has a doily looped over. All I did to accomplish that was take a doily like so, and these were just purchased, oh, really inexpensive, and just lay it down, stitch it, fold it over, stitch it down, and if there was a bunch of excess on the back, I cropped it off just because I can usually get 2 of these kind of projects out of a single doily. So there we go with that one, and then as it goes along, I made each one a little different, and I just had fun with it, you guys. I just came through. I'm not a perfect sewer by any stretch of the imaginations. I don't get my lines just so or anything, so I had so much fun with, I've got this great template made possible by the ScanNCut. Now I can just play. On this one, I stitched a thicker banner across the top because I thought that would be kind of a fun mix up. This one, as you've seen before with the felt. And you can see everything needs to be cleaned up and fixed up, and that's okay because as I'm showing this to you, this is a work in progress. This one I got 3 layers. I put some striped fabric and then some felt. I'm really a fan of adding that felt in, you guys, because the felt is really giving it just a little better stabilization. And then you can see here, now that I'm at the end, we can just come in and stitch on. You just straight stitching. Simple, simple stuff, guys. Even if you're not great with your sewing machine yet, you can be great with it for this project. So I can just stitch right across there, and then of course iron everybody out when I'm all the way done. I'm messing with this so much, it really, for me, doing this, I feel like my very best idea is to do all that at the end. And then at the very end, either hand stitching or perhaps hot glue or another super strong adhesive, I'm going to add just a few fun little buttons because I love dimension. I love all the layers on this stuff. So I will just come through with a little glue on a few more buttons. And what makes me really excited about this party banner is a couple things. Number one, it's using up so much fabric scrap and felt and all this other stuff that I have sitting around. So you know I love that. Number two, it adds so much. It totally just makes the party scene. And number three, it could be for any theme, masculine, feminine, Christmas, birthdays, just because, seasonal. You could have a different banner for every part of the year, and you can store it up so easily, and it'll save for years and years and years because everything on it is just, you know, fabric, or like I said, if I add in some buttons, but everything on it is very durable. You're not going to have the paper ripping, nothing like that. These, you know, can be as mean as you want to them. They're going to be just fine, and you can have fun with on purpose. I love intentional crooked stitching. I'm going to come back in here for contrast and add some black crooked stitching just for the fun of it because I love it. You could add accents and details. For me, like I just said, we're going to wait until the whole thing is done before I go in adding any buttons or other things because I don't want to try to add those things when I still have stitching to do or ironing to do and that kind of stuff. Whether you leave it plain like these, which honestly I'm kind of I'm going back and forth because I do just like it how it is, or if you're adding a bunch of stuff, as you can see, having my own little template here has made my production line of banners go so quickly. And I even had the kids come in and they were having fun with picking fabrics and cutting triangles out of fabrics just the right size. And you know, if they got a little off, or like for example on this one, I know this is one of the ones the girls were helping me with, the bottom got nicked off a little. That's totally okay. It's not a problem. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. I hope I see you guys making these because they are just way too much fun. In fact, I'm going to have to keep playing a little bit with this one. I don't know about you, but I am feeling so inspired to create one of these banners for my studio. In fact, this one kind of looks good in here, I think. Creating them for Christmas, for holidays, for birthdays, to be reused, and I love reusable decorations, so I'm really excited about using up my own fabric stash and getting more things made. I hope you have enjoyed all of the ideas I've shared with you here today. Remember to check out the Brother ScanNCut website because they have so many great tutorials and ideas, and you can get more of my ideas over on my blog. For today, this is May Flom, and I wish you very happy crafting.